Hello everybody. We are back. We are returned after a short little hour break there, and we are coming to you with some Challengers Cup this time. We've got Kopi Luwak by Mr. Leibniz, and we have Arkangell's Will by Arkangell. How these two teams got here? Arkangell through the bye, of course. So this is his first game in the Challengers Cup. And Mr. Leibniz getting here through taking down Ironmaster for Ironmaster's first loss this season, actually. Takes over someone's record, makes it to Challengers Cup while not losing at all along the way, and then loses first round, unfortunately. But this is what Kopi Luwak, Mr. Leibniz's team, looks like. We got some High Elves. We're going to have a High Elf versus Wood Elf match, very elfy game. Not in my wheelhouse. I'm a bash coach. And this is what we have. I feel like those two Mighty Blow players is actually going to make quite a bit of difference in the Elf game. A lot of Armor 7 for Arkangell, so elves that can keep up with Arkangell, but also attempt to actually remove them is something that I think that the High Elves are going to have over the Wood Elves. Those Movement 8, Strength 3 players are going to be a big deal. The Movement 9 Sidestep Catcher, pretty credible one-turn threat, and get a Guard Lineman. For this, 0 bench. The Sure Hands normally would make a pretty big difference against an elf team, but if I recall correctly, Arkangell doesn't actually have Strip Ball in his word answers because they're weird Mighty Blow word answers. Let's go find ourselves some Arkangell's Will. I don't actually know if he's in here yet because there was some weirdness. He was the bye team, so he had to get like invited specifically. There it is. There's Arkangell's Will. I recapped him this season, so I'm pretty familiar with these teams. We've got Iron Skin, the Tree Man up there, and then his cast of elves. There's only 9 elves, so a couple loners. We're going to have a benchless elf fight today, so any removals from either side are going to make a difference. We don't have Strip Ball, but we do have a Strength 4 Mighty Blow Tackle Ward Answer, who's going to be pretty key in this matchup. And He Who Catches Unseen and Ireveth have been monsters for this team. 2 Nerves of Steel, the Guard player, Sidestep, Blodge. The Pass Block has been surprisingly useful as well. And that's going to make a big difference against these elves too, the High Elves that are going to try to pass the ball. You don't want to do it near him. Agi 5, Leap, Pass Block. He's got a really good chance to intercept. The Leap doesn't matter, but Pass Block, you can move to get in the way. Nerves of Steel, you can ignore tackle zones. The Agi and the Catch make a big difference in trying to do the interceptions. So I'm interested to see how this game goes. Shall we find out if they've gotten going? They have. Perfect timing me. In we go. What do we have in terms of inducements? Nothing for Arkangell, and Mr. Leibniz grabbing a wizard. High Elves certainly can take advantage of that wizard. And we will see how much I'm going to be able to give reasonable commentary about this, as I'm not really an elf coach. But maybe we can do something. Opting for the short kick. Pitch Invasion. 1 player on each side. Very fair game so far. That the short kick just out of reach of any of the elves who really want to get there from Kopi Luwak and Mr. Leibniz. Pretty likely that Arkangell is going to be able to get this under control here. I think what Arkangell is going to want to do is make sure that we hit with this tree and get a Mighty Blow Blitz in there somewhere. We've got sort of first dibs at punching here, and with no bench on either side, removals are going to make a difference. Backing off to make sure that we have at least somebody on the ball before we do anything. Adrastia just able to charge right in there. Strength 4 can do stuff on his lonesome. God, what an incredible player. Movement 8, Strength 4, Agi 4. Ridiculous. War Dancers are so good. Trying to protect his War Dancer from the counter hit. Although with Guard, we can make it a make it a 1-die right now if we really want to. Iron Sight, the thrower. Iron Skin, the tree man. Thrower has got a hold of the ball, out of range nicely of any of the elves. They're not going to be able to do anything here. And here comes the first tree hit of the game. Bonk. Nothing, but we do have 2 elves marked up on the tree men right now. Not likely to accomplish a whole lot. Positioning here means that the War Dancer is not able to get counter blitzed. We can take a few more line blocks. No real reasonable route to the ball for the High Elves for now. We'll see what they elect to do. I don't think they're going to try to flood the ball area. I don't think they can accomplish enough, especially not against Wood Elves. I think this is going to be a pretty tough game for the High Elves, honestly. I think Wood Elves are better elves, unless the High Elves can utilize their very, very good passing game, and they can't really do that until they have a whole lot more development. I feel like the High Elves, or the Wood Elves, are a little bit favored in this one, but the High Elves do have a Wizard, which is always something that you can't count out against Elves. Movement 8, Agi 4 can take advantage of Wizards in strange ways. Setting up to punch the catcher. Putting 2 assists there, even though, or to make it a 3-die, of course. Block. Mighty Blow, just a stun. No removals yet for either side. That's probably the only block we're going to see this half. I seriously doubt we're going to try to block the tree man. There's also a fair bit of Mighty Blow on the Wood Elves, though. The Wood Elves have a Strength 4 Mighty Blow tackle and another Mighty Blow, and they've got a Mighty Blow on the tree, obviously. I think it could go either way, and it depends on whose Mighty Blow happens first, I think, really. Because neither team has any bench. So if one team starts going down players, it could be pretty bad. And the Wood Elves are mostly Armor 7, though, so they're slightly weaker to that Mighty Blow. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that's a disgusting War Dancer. Strength 4 Mighty Blow tackle. Absolutely disgusting. Would you like an 8-4-4-7 Mighty Blow Tackle Blodge Leap player? Hell yes, I would. What an absolute monstrosity. Oh, first dodge failed. Not gonna reroll that. Just a stun. I like how we even have Elf Turf for the Elf Off. We've got a bit of an Elf Off here, playing on Elf Turf. Back to Arkangell, who I imagine is just going to try to utilize that Strength 4 Mighty Blow piece somewhere. I mean, if I were him, I would assist, 3-die, pick someone to blitz, and then it doesn't really matter what the rest of your turn is. The thrower might be a reasonable option. He's kind of an important piece. However, as long as he who catches unseen exists, throwing isn't really a great option for the High Elves. Like, this guy is an intercept machine. Like pass block, nerves of steel, agi, catch, absolute intercept machine. Here comes the ward answer. Is going to hit the thrower as expected. We can chain push somebody if we'd like. Looks like doesn't really matter which one you do, I don't think. Chain push is the catcher. There's the first removal. KO number 1. Thrower is KO'd. It's just a KO, but the thrower is in fact KO'd. Down a player now. We also have another Mighty Blow hit we can take from the tree, and it's a 3-die as well. There's going to be like a surprisingly bashy elf matchup, I think. Like, I think Arkangell wants to spend as much of his time blitzing with that ward answer and just punching stuff with the tree to try and maximize his removals here, rather than scoring quick like you'd expect with elves. It's because he can utilize that, and it'll make his life way easier if he can get a couple removals. And he has the opportunity to do so now because he is on the offensive. Yep, just electing to stay back with the thrower. Keep him out of range of any of elf shenaniganry. Also an important piece for these wood elves. Guard, sidestep, blodge catcher. But at armor 6, he's a little scary to actually utilize in the guard role. High elves, we've got a couple of guard too, in fact. They've got 2 on a lineman and on a catcher. This is a pretty incredible catcher to have. Blodge guard on movement 8 is kind of nice. High elf blitzer, or this high elf sacker catcher, who's also movement 9 and sidestep. Good one-turn threat, and we got this blitzer, who's a great blitzer with blodge step, tackle, mighty blow. Another mighty blow on this catcher here. Another tackle over on this blitzer. High elves have quite a few good players as well. Here comes that tree block. We find that knockdown. Where are we grabbing him to? Mighty blow, get breaking armor and getting a stun. Tree is going to be nice here for the wood elves. Nice high strength piece that they can sort of pivot around as they go forward. High elves are never really going to be able to block him, and until then he's going to be able to get a couple. He's going to get a couple extra mighty blow hits in for the wood elves. Alrighty, Kopi, Luwak, and the high elves. What are we going to do? We don't really have a good blitz on a high value target, do we? Well, we could blitz this ward answer if we wanted to. We could blitz the ward answer with this blitzer, the block tackle one. And I feel like that's what we're going to see with that guard being placed there. Here it comes. It finds the POW. Mighty blow armor 7. That's an armor break. Injury. Oh boy. That's not a good start. No Apo. I mean, at least it's not this ward answer, but that's one of the 2 ward answers gone. That's a pretty big win for the high elves right now. And that's one of the mighty blow gone as well. Still have a few players left, but not much to do with them at the moment. Mark up some loners. I mean, if the loners do dodges, they have to roll a 2+ that they're not going to be able to reroll, or not want to reroll anyway. So it's probably not unreasonable. Although we have pretty easy blocks back here if we want to. We can blitz with the ward answer and then just block with the loner. Dedicating a lot of elves to this one loner over here. So who do we blitz now? I mean, if we're going amongst the school of valuable players, we can get into a big old scrum over here and start punching their blitzers in return. If we'd like. If you're just looking to maximize blocks, you can block this guard piece and then use it and then have an assist for this lineman who you can then push onto the tree if you fail. Nope, we're just going to go right away for this guard piece. Another POW found. Armor 7 Mighty Blow is... Armor 7 is strong for the High Elves, not strong for the Wood Elves. No removal there. Back to being safe. Tree stepping forward for our eventual run up the right side. And marking up a blitzer here. Putting in a threat, a scoring threat. I like this. This is, it's a wrestle piece. So he's not that as likely to be armor broken anyway, right? If he gets blitzed, you can choose to wrestle down. And since he is a scoring threat, your opponent is pretty incentivized to just try to hit him rather than blitz one of the better players down here. Although if we wanted to, we do have a hit on the thrower. Not anymore. Man, movement 7 thrower is pretty good. You can get a lot of distance with a move 7 and then like a long pass. And we have this tree who's going to be capable of protecting ourselves if we don't elect to pass, but just move up this right-hand side. I like this line of play right now a lot by Arkangell. Leibniz is going to now have to blitz this guy, but we have 2 scoring threats here. And with all these elves on this side, a lot of them who are movement 6, Arkangell doesn't have to score here. If he feels like he needs to, he can pass and then score. If he feels like he can make himself safe, then he's got all the players he needs over here to get himself safe. But his opponent is sort of forced to blitz this guy right now. And with wrestle, he's not as likely to be hurt. Another scoring threat up here as well. Too much for the High Elves to deal with. Although the High Elves can just like drop a tackle on this guy. Front and back and probably be okay. Alright, High Elves. Who do you blitz? Feel like you blitz the this guy and you want to try to get in the way over here, because this guy can be these players down here are mostly useless right now, and they can be sort of taken care of by sort of the front back box in with a tackle. And then if we blitz this guy and put him in front and get this blitzer and put him in front, dodge this blitzer and put him in front, we at least have dice to roll for the catcher. He wants to score on him. Marking the catcher up won't do anything because he is Nerves of Steel, of course. Now you use the tackle on the other side there, presumably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we will probably blitz this piece, I imagine, unless we can engineer a blitz on this guy, but I don't think we can. He is a scoring threat, of course, but he is going to have to roll more dice. Player down here to at least threaten the ball, I think I like. No tackle on him right now, though, so this is still a 4+3+. But he's probably not going to pass to him because he doesn't have Nerves of Steel. In 2 tackle zones, that's going to make it a 4+. Okay, there's at least 1 mark. I'd be very surprised if we don't see a blitz coming in here. Intercept threat is what this is. In case we decide to throw to this guy, there's an elf in the way that can intercept potentially. No, no blitz. Or are we gonna blitz with this guy? Oh, there's the blitz. We're blitzing this catcher. That's interesting. I feel like he's the least important one. Right now, Arkangell is a 2+2+ from scoring, and we've done nothing about it. I feel like it may have been better to blitz this guy. And put... Yeah, I'm casting 2 games skip today. If your first half went like really quick, so I was planning on ideally finishing yours and then rolling right into this one, but your first half went really quick, so it wasn't as long as a 24 turn game probably should have been. This doesn't actually do anything, right? I feel like it may have been better to blitz this guy and then like from up here, and then we have players in the way at least. This guy is not going to be a threat. There's intercept threats. There'd be 2 tackle zones on the ball. One of them being tackle if you use this guy. And then you blitz this guy because he's easy to go down with wrestle basically. And then you'll have players kind of in the way for this guy, so he at least has to roll a bunch of dice. You could even mark him up with tackle. Whereas right now, Arkangell has a 2+2+2+ to score basically. I mean, he can hand off, short pass, score, or you can just like meet. I think the pass is a 2+ anyway because Agi 4 accurate. And there's just 1 GFI in the way of this catcher from scoring right now. Or we could even we have free players. We could just blitz this guy free, and then we have a 2+ catch and no 2+ GFI even. The orange thing is a ball. I mean, we have wrestle tackle here. This is a very easy blitz target into a very easy scoring threat with 0 GFIs. Although that's going to be a bit of a longer pass, so we may consider the handoff short pass. It's a couple extra 2+. Well, if you want to watch the VOD, don't let me stop you. You can still access it. And it'll be on YouTube like tomorrow. After the 24-hour wait period thing. As I didn't bother to record it. Normally what I do while I stream is I stream and simultaneously record the raw footage to my hard drive so that it's easy to edit and upload. But with these, I'm probably not gonna, I don't really want to do any editing. I'll just upload them as they are, so I might as well just export them from Twitch. Okay, so we elected to blitz this guy, which indicates to me that we may or may not be scoring now, or that we may not be scoring now. This is what I said last turn on Arkangell's turn, is that I liked his line of play here, like putting a bunch of scoring threats around, and then being like, cool, you know, try to deal with them. You force your opponent into dealing with them so they're not doing other things. And you can score if you want to, but you have many options to just get yourself safe and not score if you'd like, and it really dictates your opponent's turn, and then you have a lot of options for what you want to do. So the pass comes in, the catch comes in. If we'd like to score right now, we can with 1-2+. Hey, Lava Jackal. It's going. We do have this having occurred. It's a badly hurt on a Mighty Blow War Dancer. However, this Mighty Blow War Dancer, because this team has 2 of them, is still okay. Elects to take the touchdown. Ayurveth, the armor 6 guard sidestep lodge catcher, takes the touchdown. Nice orc cheerleaders, thanks. The elves get their the high elves get their KO back, so they're probably pretty pleased with this. They now have a full team compared to the 10 of Arkangell. Shouldn't be too difficult for them to score. They'll have a wizard available. The only thing you have to be careful of is he who catches unseen is quite an intercept threat. So the high elves are going to have to really pay attention to that. Make sure they're not passing anywhere near him. I believe it's 3 squares. How many squares is it? 3 squares, correct. Pass block is a very cool skill that you can kind of utilize in weird ways sometimes. Like, you can use it on your own passes, right? Oh no, it's when the opposing coach is going to pass. But you can use it, like, not just for getting in the way of passes. You can use it to, like, move your player forward into scoring range. You can use it to move your player, like, as an assist, so that you can block stuff, or like an anti-assist. So if your opponent like does a pass before they're gonna do a block, you can pass block your guy into a place so that the block is now uphill or something. It's really cool. A lot of neat applications of pass block. The tree is a pretty big deal for the Wood Elves as well here. High Elves are going to have a much harder time getting line blocks, and if they do try to get the line blocks, they're probably going to have to take a hit in return from a tree. Treeman, good unit. Can't forget the wizard is still available for the high elves. I can only imagine though that that's probably going to get used in a defensive capacity much later in the game, once we're already at like 1-1 or 2-2 or something, or 2-1, and we just want to try to stop that last extra score for the Wood Elves. That is a high kick. Pretty short high kick, but it's a high kick, so the Wood Elves are likely not going to be able to take advantage of the short kick, because that catcher or that thrower is probably just going to catch it. Nope, he rolls a 1, does not catch it. Right, High Elves going to make a couple line blocks, I imagine, on those loners. Make sure the ball is safe first. Good play. 3 tackle zones is probably enough to discourage even the Agi 5ist of elves. I'm not sure what he's there for. This was already an assist, was it not? Do we want that wrestle guy for a particular reason? I'm unsure. Do you just want to move him forward as like a scoring threat? Is that what we're doing? I'm unsure. Oh, the tree has guard. That's what this is. Never mind. I'm dumb. The tree has guard, so we need these extra assists. Of course. It's hard to tell with all these skills. Although he sort of did this to himself. Did he not have just set up not next to the tree? Like if he had a player here and a player here, then you just move this as an assist and block, rather than having 3 players next to the tree. Because now the tree is doing exactly what he wants. He's got 3 high elves. All 3 of them being very good high elves marked up. I mean, we can 1-die the tree if we really want to. But I feel like spending a bunch of your time mighty blowing a tree is probably not worth it. Uh-oh. I feel like we have to reroll that. Okay. No snake eyes. Get a hold of the ball. Run! Run away! We're punching the tree. We have the whole high elf team in a line so that we can mighty blow the tree. Got him. This is where you take the you ask if your opponent is brave enough to foul you with a blodge guard piece. Because if you think your opponent is not brave enough, you just stand firm. So the next turn you try to stand that tree up, and then you're on 5 players. And if you don't stand firm, but now you have a pretty good chance, a reasonable chance of getting fouled. Honestly, we could have blitzed this guy out of the way, and then had a massive foul on the tree. If you blitz this player, we could have had a massive tree foul, but I mean, you'd have to do it with a good player, which is kind of ballsy. So, not that ballsy, but ballsy enough to go for the tree. Interesting. It is a bold move. And not metal bold, which is code for bad in metal speak. Bold is in bold. It's brave. Tree makes a stand up. Made the 4+. So now he's tying up 5 elves, which is exactly how he wants to be. This is the danger of doing this. Although next turn, technically the elves can probably just, or the high elves can probably just do the same thing. Although, as long as this elf is here, 2 of these aren't assists, and we can't 2-die the tree. Or we can't, 2-die the tree. And we're gonna have to dedicate another player or a guard to get this elf out of the way, or we're gonna have to 1-die him. This is a pretty reasonable situation for Arkangell, I think. I can only imagine we're going to take every turn for Arkangell is going to be click Adrastea, find the elf that we can blitz that is the most valuable, and then blitz it. We need 0 assists. He's block tackle, mighty blow. Seems good to me. Only the Wood Elves are the ones with the wizard, and we could fireball half their team here. No, that would be bad. Don't do that. Trees are weak to fire, after all. If only. I'm sure there was probably some weird old Blood Bowl rules back in the weird days where like wolves had to chase skeleton bones and all that kind of nonsense. There's Adrastea getting the POW, or at least the knockdown. Bonk. Just a stun. Wonder if the oh yes, the Oh, I was gonna say, I wonder if the while we're kind of in a little bit of dead time here, I was gonna check the brackets to see who the winner of this match plays. And well, I'm not gonna spoil it, but let's say I'm not surprised that a certain person is in my chat. These with these elves here, it's going to be very difficult to block this elf out of the way with anything other than a 1-die, and then the whole elf team is just on this tree, and you're not going to be able to 2-die him unless you get rid of this loner. And he's 1-dieable by block, which is a 2+, where a push is good enough. So it's not the end of the, it's not terrible, I guess. He's gonna make it a 2+ here. And then he's able to block the tree with a 2-die. And if he blocks the tree with a 2-die, he can block this elf with a 2-die. And then we can probably blitz somebody else. Where's the other Mighty Blow? I thought there was another Mighty Blow for these high elves. Oh, he's stunned. Aha. Well, we could still find another elf to put to punch. We have a pretty reasonable number of hits that the high elves can make this turn if they want to. If we really want to be super safe here, we can take a 2-die, and if we knock him down, we can then assist. No, we can't actually get an assist there. We're gonna have to 1-die it no matter what we do. But the high elves are going to be able to get a bunch of blocks this turn if they'd like, and that's probably pretty good. They're armor 8, or the wood elves are armor 7. The attrition game is a real thing, especially since both teams have 0 bench. So I think it'd be a pretty good idea to try and aim for a little bit of attrition, as either team, honestly. But I think the high elves have a bit more of a chance with it, just because that armor, on average, a little bit more armor 8 will probably cover. Bonk. There you go. That's another injury. Elves are starting to fall. Armor 7 doing armor 7 things. Just a loner. But I mean, as long as he who catches unseen, Adrastia, Ivareth, and Savari are available, that's pretty much all the wood elves really need to win a game. They are for me. They certainly are for me. I'm looking at the ones that Volpez and Kulta put together on like just a brackets website that he built manually. I'm looking at that now just because the Rebel one is a little broken. This is the Challengers Cup one. I'm going to link it. Do not click this if you do not want spoilers. This is the Challengers Cup bracket. There are spoilers, obviously, because it's live. It's being updated as matches happen. So please do not click that if you do not want to be spoiled. Tree down. There's also there's a playoff version of it as well that I could get a hold of for you if you'd like. Actually, it's pinned in the playoff spoilers channel, I think. There's a pinned message in the playoff either the playoff spoilers or the playoff scheduling channel in the Rebel Discord. That has a link to both the playoffs and the Challengers Cup version of that. Yeah, I mean, Major Bite is a hero. Major Bite is an absolute hero. He's done so much work for this league. The websites are incredible. The bots are incredible. If you're going to donate money to anybody, there's a bunch of streamers and stuff around Rebel that have donation buttons and blah 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 blah. But the two biggest ones I think that are important are medals, which is the primary like Rebel one. That's what's used to pay for you know, prizes and shipping and that kind of stuff. You want to support the league, or Major Bite has one as well that you can give to him. Currently, he doesn't use it for web hosting. Full disclosure, he will use the PayPal money probably to buy yourself a beer or buy himself a beer. But I absolutely think he deserves a beer for the work he's done on Rebel.net. And you get a fancy little donator badge too. 473 signups currently for Rebel. That is both a take root and a failed stand-up, which is non-ideal for that tree, really. Not very good at all. Now the High Elves have all of those players free. Next turn, anyway. The tree is no longer doing its job, and the High Elves have a player advantage with 2 removed Wood Elves. So even though it's 1-0 for the Wood Elves right now, I think or 1-0 for the Wood Elves right now, I think the High Elves are in a pretty reasonable position. They've got a couple turns. They've got a Wizard, and then a couple turns to score on turn 8. They've got a player advantage that they can probably just continue to roll with a little bit, especially now that that tree is on the ground. If you are not signed up for Season 12 of Rebel, I suggest you go do so. Get that 473 counter up. If you find yourself bored and want something to do... Oh, that's a failed GFI. You went for the ball, failed the GFI, got it the second time, find the POW, the ball's on the floor. And there are 2 Wood Elves in range of this right now. It's a good scatter location, hoping it goes into one of the tackle zones. Good news for the High Elves is that the War Dancer can't get a hold of it himself, and nobody else can. Bad news for the High Elves is they only really have 2 players in range of that ball, so they're not going to be able to blitz him off and pass the ball in the same turn. The other thing I was going to say is that if you're looking for something to do in the off season, would highly recommend checking out Rebel Imperium. It's a really good time. It's a lot of fun, and we'll be starting a new season. If you feel like you're behind and you don't want to try to get your card collection up compared to other people, a new season will be starting at roughly the same time as the playoffs are ending. So nice, good excuse to get in there. And one more thing I'd like to plug in the downtime is there's a lot of great casts going on, a lot of good people doing good casts during the playoffs, but we're hurting a little bit for recappers during the regular season. So if you want to get into this casting thing, you want to get into this commentary thing, you want to get into this media production thing, a nice relatively low pressure way to do it is to make 30-minute video once a week about one of the Rebel divisions. And if you want to try to try your hand at some production like that next season, it would be a perfect time to get started. So feel free to poke one of the sports reporters if you're looking to try to get involved with that next season. What do we have left to do as Arkangell? We can't get in range of the ball anymore. We can try to screen off the High Elves a little bit from their own team, which is what we're doing here. We don't have much. This guy doesn't have tackle, so we can 2+ our way through here. Not through tackle. The fact that this War Dancer is strength 4 is actually such a pain right now, because if, like, right now we can get a 2-die, but we can only get a 2-die by using the thrower either to blitz or to be an assist. And if you blitz with him, he can't throw the ball, and if he's an assist, he also can't throw the ball. So we're not actually able to get the ball and throw it this turn, I don't think, if we want to try to get a 2-die on the War Dancer, which I think we do, considering War Dancers are blodge. Yeah, so we use an assist there. Oh, we have this guy who can blitz. Okay. So you can stand up this guy, and then you can 2+, 2+, 2-die with tackle. Is there any other players with tackle? No, I think that's what you have to do. You really want to make sure we use that tackle on the War Dancer, because it would be it'd be such a problem if he doesn't go down this turn. Agi 4, Strength 4, he'd be able to blitz the ball free by himself, pick it up and score without too much difficulty. There's only one tackle zone on it, and especially with Savari also able to assist there with some wrestling and stuff. And we have guard from Irveth. as well. I think you absolutely have to clear off this War Dancer this turn, and the best way to do it is to just stand this guy up and then blitz with this tackle piece. I think that's what we do. Try to move. I'd move some of these players first. Maybe get yourself a scoring threat. Might be a good idea. Considering it is turn 6. And now that the tree is gone. Okay, dodge 1, good. Second 2+, also good. We find the knockdown. Not scattering, pushing him against the sideline. Armor break. Just a stun, but that's a really big stun. Because Arkangell basically is not going to have it. He's not going to have him for the next turn. This ball is, that's a huge stun. This ball is about as safe as you can make it now. More dead elves would certainly be nice, and I know that's what you're cheering for, Lava Jackal. But this is big for the high elves, certainly. Try to get in the way of that guard catcher. I think is a good plan. Along with, you know, getting a hold of the ball, but I also think we need to move players off this tree, and we need to get ourselves a scoring threat or 2. With that War Dancer on the floor, the ball's going to be pretty safe and just in the hands of the thrower, I feel. It's a lot of elves down here, and not all of them are really doing something. There we go, ball in hand of the thrower. Inside a cage. I mean, the wood elves are not going for this. Well, they have this leaper, actually. So the guard cage is probably a good idea, in reality. Guard on 2 corners, so that we're not able to get a 1-die with this wrestler. Yeah, I may have criticized this too harshly. I think this is probably a good idea because of the leaper. Tree manages to stand up. On his feet. Tall boy. I love the tree animation when they stand up, the like bridge that they like push themselves up with their big branchy arms. It's a good animation, I like it a lot. Are they going to go for it? Are they going to go for it next turn? If the wood elves really want to, we can leap in and uphill. With wrestle, it's not terrible. Uphill with wrestle. Problem is we don't have much of a recovery option. The agi piece is on the floor, so the ball is going to have to scatter over here for the agi piece to be a recovery option. The elves have a lot of players in there right now. I think you may need to wait till next, try to like prevent the scoring threats maybe. Although you're not going to be able to do that very well either. But I don't think this turn is the turn to do the leap wrestle. You might want to do that next turn. See if you can position yourself in a way that if they want to get forward, they're going to have to not be in a perfect cage. And then try to do the leap wrestle next turn, I think. Looks like Arkangell agrees with me. The high elf noises. Ah, ah! Not as good as the Bretonians, though. The Bretonian noises are extra silly. Okay. Irveth backing off. Just to try to make these elves' lives harder. We've realized that the cage is too impregnable to actually get in right now, so we're going to go after the scoring threat elves and see if we can make their forward progression a bit harder. Because, you know, it is turn 7. Next turn, Leibniz is going to have to get some elves in scoring range if he wants a chance to score here. It is something he needs to do. Okay, Kopi Luwak, here we go. How are we going to deal with this? What we need to do is get scoring threats. We can get a couple. We could blitz this thrower with one of the Mighty Blow pieces, and then we could go down the side, for example. We could even get enough assists on this guy to block this guy free. But Arkangell knows what he's doing. Like, recall, Arkangell may have done really well in playoffs once before. Arkangell is a good Wood Elf coach. It's mostly about getting elves in the way here, so that it's difficult for the high elves to both protect their ball and get scoring threats in the way. Right? You're not going to be able to do both as well as you'd like to here. Oh, that's bad. Double skull. Find the POW in the second attempt. This is also Mighty Blow and Armor 7. Maybe we can get some more elves removed. Oh, dead! Iron Sight is dead! Is that the Apo? That's the Apo. Dead into injured. That's 3 elves out. Oh, movement bust. So no thrower for the next game for Arkangell if he wins this one. 3 elves now out. This one is just a loner, so who cares? But that means we were at 8 elves. Well, 7 elves in a tree for the rest of this game. And no more Apo. If things continue this way, it could go well for the high elves. Arkangell is playing this really well, and he's making it very difficult for the high elves to do things. And it shows the quality of the coaching that Arkangell provides. But with the removals that we're managing to leverage, that Mr. Leibniz is able to leverage here, because he has that Mighty Blow and he has that Armor 8. He can afford to base up a bit more, take a few more blocks, and he's leveraging that well into removals on Wood Elves. And because Wood Elves are Armor 7, turns out. Leaving the tackle on the War Dancer. He could leap out. But the War Dancer can't also accomplish much from where he is. You're a scoring threat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. So we get 2 scoring threats for the high elves. This is the most important one. While you are technically a scoring threat, you are double GFIs. So there's really only one scoring threat for the... like one serious scoring threat for the high elves right now. So as the Wood Elves, I think this is your blitz target, and then you try to just get in the way of this guy, so he's gonna have to roll dodges or blitzes to get through. If only Arkangell had a lightning bolt or a wizard, now would be a great time for it. Can we engineer a chain push here? I mean, we can. That makes it a lot harder because he's guard, so we're not going to be able to block here, and we also can't really get in here anymore. So that kind of takes away the chain push option. We do find another knockdown here. Another armor break. KO. 7 elves remain. 7 elves remain. There's some movie with like a blank days remain caption, and I don't remember what it is. Doo -doo -doo -doo. All right, what elves? What do you do? Well, you could have. There was like a chain push on here somewhere, but now I don't think there is anymore. I think what you do is just try to blitz this catcher. We can do it with Savari, the tackle piece. Catcher doesn't have dodge, but the tackle piece is at least strength 3, whereas these guys are both strength 2. I'm gonna put sidestep here so that he's difficult to blitz through. Blitz this guy. Put him down so he's actually in the way. And then we can get a bit more screening here. Because the only players... Oh, this catcher is also a scoring threat. But we could put... the tree has taken root, has he not? Yes. So we cannot stop both scoring threats, but we can try to get in the way. We can blitz this one of them and then try to get in the way of the other ones. I think this is the best one to blitz, because this guy's going to need GFIs, technically. But we have, like, this ward answer is pretty much irrelevant. We could double GFI, leap in or something, but I don't know if that is worth it. We got a catcher, we've got a loner elf, we've got a rooted tree, and we've got these 3 elves to do things with. It's not as much as you'd like. I think this is a dodge out sidestep piece here. Blitz, or are we just running away to safety and accepting the touchdown? Nope, sidestep there, good. What is this for? It's not an anti-stall piece. I would suggest it's for stalling. No, we probably reroll that. When's the knockdown? I mean, I would suggest it's for stalling, but it's not, because there's only 1 turn, so it's not actually doing anything stalling-wise. But it might just be Arkangell feels that he can defend this with the 3 players that'll be available, rather than putting him in the way so that we have dodges to make. Yeah, we don't have much. This isn't not a whole lot here. This is a 2-die. That's pretty easy. And then we have a double GFI from this catcher here. Must have been he felt like he couldn't offer a huge resistance to the touchdown, so he's trying to keep his Agi player safe while offering a token resistance. This guy is strength 2, so you don't need all these assists. Unless you want to make it a 3-die, which I guess we do. But you kind of get in your own way a little bit if you don't get this knockdown. Whereas if you just like blitzed from here and had the push, you wouldn't get in your own way. No, we're fine. We're still fine. So we hand off to this catcher. There's the handoff. Makes the handoff, and now we have avoid the tripwire to make it 1-1. No tripwire, 1-1. But now we get to go into the High Elf Drive with the Wood Elves missing quite a few players, especially if that KO doesn't come back. So the High Elves can do the same thing that they just sort of did there and keep themselves safe and slow play it. They have a wizard available. They've got a big player advantage. Then get a mighty blow advantage. They've got a guard advantage. They can keep themselves nice and safe for most of the half. The KO does come back while they just bully Wood Elves around and then score on turn 16. And, you know, the High Elves, or the Wood Elves will technically have a one-turn threat in return with the movement 8 side. There's a movement 8 sidestep. There he is. One turn, technically. They don't have a whole lot of players that they're going to be able to utilize for it if the High Elves grab a couple more removals. High Elves still have a wizard available as well. This looks pretty good for the High Elves. Can't count out Arkangell, though. Arkangell is a good coach. But with the wizard and a player advantage, it looks pretty good for the High Elves for me. Which is unfortunate for a certain person in chat, because these High Elves don't have any damage taken. Yeah, he's got a big enough advantage that a fouling actually starts to become pretty attractive here. Not typical a team to do the fouling High Elves, but or not typically a team to do fouling High Elves, but when you have a decent enough player advantage, you don't really care if you get somebody sent off, especially if it's in exchange for one of these players. I mean, the good news for Arkangell is that he's got the sort of key core components of his team. These 4 players are the heart and soul of his team. They're basically how he wins games, and he has all 4 of them still, so can't count that out. Even with guard corner cages, the Adraste can leap 1 die into a cage. You won't have tackle, but at least the thrower who's likely to have the ball doesn't actually have block. Oh boy, that's a blitz. Can we do anything with that? Can we get on the ball? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we cut a corner, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3. We can't get under the ball unless we do dodges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3. 4. We can mark the ball if we're willing to do triple GFIs, and then that's a giant please 3-die me sign. So I don't think you do it. Arkangell take you like trying to weigh up the pros and cons of it. But I think it's mostly con right now. The only thing you can really do that's worthwhile is getting this catcher next to the ball. And that's just like painting a giant please kill me sign on you. Which I do not think is worth. Oh, well, there's a KO. It's not a death or anything, but it is at least a removal for the Wood Elves to even up the player count a little bit. Well, tried to do something there, failed the dodge, failed it again. Oh well. High Elves could utilize their player advantage and their armor advantage to just try to start marking up Elves and see if we can get some removals. Able to get a hit on Ireveth here. That's armor 6 against Mighty Blow. I'm scared. Close my eyes. I heard the animation play sound. That's a stun sound though. Okay, he's just stunned. Good. Good for Arkangell, not good for Mr. Leibniz. Well, stun is pretty okay, especially on the one guard piece that would actually able to help us engineer a few blocks. Both down, but we have block. Another hit here. Another knockdown. These Wood Elves taking a lot more blocks than they'd like. Oh, another KO. Oh, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 elf players remain. You missed this. High Elves just kind of bullying the Wood Elves around at this point. It is 1-1. However, it is now the second half and the High Elf drive. Wood Elves went first, scored on turn like 4 or something. High Elves went second and then just spent the rest of the half bullying the Wood Elves, making the Wood Elves take damage. And now we go into half 2 with 7 Elves remaining for the Wood Elves and a Wizard still available for the High Elves. This was actually a dead. This thrower died. And then was re-rolled with an Apo into a movement bust. But he was dead. He does still have a Wizard. Wizard is still totally available. Which is why I think this is pretty much in the hands of Mr. Leibniz right now. I mean, he's going to spend this half just keeping... He's got a bunch of extra players compared to the Wood Elves. So he can just try to keep his ball super safe, like over the top safe, like full cage, just walk down the field, and he'll still have more players than the Wood Elves, and he can just bully them around. Although he didn't actually, since he failed the dodge there, Arkangell has a shot at getting this ball right here. This is a 3+ pickup after 2 GFIs, but he's not able to pass it. I mean, you could just GFI to mark the ball. Then the High Elves have to dedicate a lot of their turn to blitzing you, but I mean, they're gonna. They absolutely will. But Leibniz will just go up the field, keep himself as safe as he can. If he really needs to, he'll have a lightning bolt to secure the touchdown. He wants to score on turn 16. If he can remove enough elves to make the one turn infeasible by then, he'll be pretty pleased. And that's kind of the game plan, I think, from here. He who catches unseen may be able to catch the ball. No, yes, he can. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2. 2 GFIs. So, 2+2+2+, and we can get a hold of the ball, which is kind of cool. And then another 2+2+s in order we can dodge out of the tackle zone, but that is on tackle. And then it's going to be difficult to get him safe, especially from this tackle piece. He's probably debating it right now. He could put one of the catchers down here. And then he who catches unseen could pick it up and throw it to the catcher. And we can kind of have the catcher a little bit like screened off, as it were. Oh, failed the GFI. Definitely worth a reroll here, but now we don't have it for the pickup. Oh, snakes the GFI. No good. Yeah, Savari's gonna get it down here. Oh my god, do you foul that? The High Elves have a pretty big player advantage. It might be worth it to just kick him in the teeth. Assuming we can do it with a not as useful player. I mean, I would foul that, but I am also a simple bash coach. No, he's going to pass first. Like, he's going to pick up with the thrower, and then he's going to get it down here, probably. But afterwards, we have, like, we could GFI 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could GFI to foul him with a rookie line elf. And we did see that in first half. He went for a stall in the first half while bullying the elves with his mighty blow, and I imagine he'll continue doing that. I mean, he has enough players that he can get himself super safe from the Wood Elves and foul this guy. And if he fouls him, that's the, like, and removes him. With the amount of removals we have so far, we could basically guarantee the victory, because the one turn wouldn't really be possible after another removal or two. We'll see what he does. I mean, I would 100% foul that, but like was mentioned, I am but a simple bash coach. Although I don't foul it anymore. You're not fouling with either of these guys, and this guy has too much work to get through. So no foul. It's the rarely seen friendly fireball. He's gonna fireball his own cage. If he hasn't used the fireball by turn 16 and he's about to win, I really want to see him like lightning bolt the tree or something. However, he probably won't, because there is the chance that a one turn could happen unless he gets a crazy number of removals. And then you'd like to have the wizard available for overtime. So it would be silly to do that, but I want to see it really bad. It's a good fight. Just fireball the tree. Trees are weak to fire. It is known. The Pla Hunter, I think, followed me. Welcome along. I don't know if that's the Pla Hunter or if it's supposed to be something else. Hello, True Blue and friends. Welcome along to a second playoff game. Well, not playoff. This is Challengers Cup. This is Mr. Leibniz and the Kopi Luwak High Elves versus Arkangell and Arkangel's Will, the Wood Elves. Would I have rerolled that block? I mean, it depends. If I was playing elves, no. If I was playing my like Nurgle, where I'm like Claw Mighty Blow and stuff and piling on, yeah, I would. Because of the target you're hitting there, I feel like it's like if I had to reroll to Claw Mighty Blow piling on this War Dancer, I absolutely would. But I wouldn't do it as elves here, because you weren't blitzing with or he was blitzing with Mighty Blow. But I don't think I would in this situation. The Pla Hunter. Excellent. Yeah, well, Arkangell playing the typical Arkangell situation where he has about 3 good players to do the entire game for him, because his injury box looks like this. His thrower died and then was appoed into a movement bust. But that was a death. And Leibniz just playing ultra safe, which he is totally makes sense to me, honestly. He's got a huge player advantage. He can keep his team keep the ball super safe, and just use the Mighty Blow he has to bully the Wood Elves that are still on the field. Try to get a couple more removals. If you can get a couple more removals, the one turn is basically impossible. You'll have the Wizard to guarantee your score if you really need it. Like, all Leibniz has to do here is play crazy safe, and he's probably got this game in the bag. That would be absolutely broken, Immortal Echoes. Absolutely broken. All you have to, like, it's basically a guaranteed one-turn touchdown. I mean, the trees are the best throwers because they have strong arm. You don't need to make it you don't need to pass very far because they have movement 8. You only need like 3 squares of movement. So even if it scatters back really far, you're likely to be in range of touching down. And catchers have catch, so they can re-roll the handoff to them. And then they're also Agi 4, so they get a really easy landing roll. And they have sprint. So like they don't need, like, they need what, 2 spaces? Like, you only have to throw them to here. And any farther and you just avoid GFIs. No, that would be disgusting. Trees are by far the best big guy at throwing. They don't have the really hungry, so they don't sometimes eat things. The take root will still let them throw, even if they do it. And they come built in with strong arm. Trees are the way to go if you want to throw stuff. For mixed teams, I guess, but the only way you're really going to do that is with union of small people, I think. Right? Alliance of Goodness can get wood elves, but I don't know if they get halflings or anybody with throwable players. I'm just trying to think. I don't know that much about mixed teams, but now that I've started playing Imperium, I'm starting to learn about which teams go with where. Alliance of Goodness gets halflings, there you go. So if you're looking to throw players, Treeman and Alliance of Goodness is the way to do it. Because then you can play a team with a Treeman and real players, but also a halfling to throw. What's Imperium, you ask? Oh boy. Imperium is only the greatest thing that has ever happened to the game of Blood Bowl. I don't want to get too much into it while we're watching this game. But it is basically a card game, as it were, but Blood Bowl based. Some crazy individuals have put together a whole giant rule set where you enter tournaments, and then from winning those tournaments you can earn like Imperium gold, which is not like Blood Bowl gold. You can use that Imperium gold to buy card packs, and those card packs contain cards which are players, right? Like you could open a War Dancer or a plus strength War Dancer, or you could open a Goblin Pogo Stick, or you could open a plus strength Croxagore, or whatever. And then you enter tournaments by building, you make a team by building a deck out of the cards you have. And you make a mixed team, obviously it's all mixed teams, but you can only, for example, you get, this is the deck limit, you get 19 cards. Use 19 of the cards in your collection to make a cool mixed team, and then you play a tournament with it. It's incredible. I will link you to the Discord for Imperium. I think I would like to. I can't actually. I do not have rights to do so. I will, give me a second. If you're in the regular Rebel Discord, if you are, there's a channel in there talking about Imperium that you can certainly get more information about. Or Iron Adept, I think, is grabbing the Imperium link for me. Thank you very much. Harl Moral, thanks for the follow. This game is looking very well for the High Elves, basically, in Sisticide. They've done a lot of removing of Wood Elves, and they have a wizard available still. It's their drive, it's 1-1. It's going to be the High Elves doing this and making a meat cube of High Elves until they get to the end and score on turn 16. They also have a wizard available that they'll be able to use to defend fairly well with. This is a cage that you see sometimes. Sort of can defend against leap a little bit better, because you're not able to take away both of these assists as easily, especially if one of them is guard. Right, with the guard here and the guard here, either one of these squares is going to have guard, and you have to commit a player to blitzing here, or to marking here. The, like, I've seen this called, like, I don't know, the bus, or like an eye cage. But it's a neat little cage that you see sometimes and is sometimes useful. It takes more players, but is a good thing to do. There you go. Thanks, Iron Adept. I don't have the time to grab that. But there's a cool little primer to it. There's a YouTube video made by Herringzord, the crazy person who is behind the invention of the game. who has a video that explains the rules quite well and how it works. It's super fun, and if it's the kind of thing you think you'd be interested in, I suggest you join. There's a new season starting soon, so if you feel like you don't want to be behind in cards, because it is a card game, sort of. Think of like FIFA, like what I've never played FIFA, but a lot of people do. There's that like FIFA tournament thing where you like collect player cards and use them to build a team. It's like kind of that thing, but with Blood Bowl. The legendary cards you can get are players. Like you can get players that are on people's teams. Trying to break tackle in with the tree, I think, and we fail it. It's a 2. We needed a 3+ to break tackle in there with the tree, and we failed. But it's a really good time, and there's a new season starting soon where most people are going to get their collections wiped, and we'll start over. It's kind of a testing thing. So if you're worried about people's collections being much crazier than yours, everyone's going to get reset soon. And also every tournament you enter has a deck limit, so it's not like people can just like bring 1,000,000 cards against you. It's like 19. And if their deck is worth more, you get inducements. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out. I'll stop pimping Imperium now. I stream all my Blood Bowl games, and which involve a lot of Imperium games these days. So if you're interested in checking out some Imperium games, feel free to watch me stream them. Self-plug. Moving the ball nice and close. If we don't punch this War Dancer this turn with Mighty Blow, I would eat my own shoe. Yep, we've built our own. There's a few of our own star players that have been built so that we can induce them. And basically, since you're making custom teams anyway, it's just adding an extra player to your team. Since you can't undo star players, a lot of them are copied star players or very similar to star players. I like the ogre named Big Lad. And the werewolf called Killhelm Paney, who is a Mighty Blow Juggernaut werewolf. That's a good time. I would recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Some people try hard it pretty seriously. Some people take it not seriously at all, like me, and just play for a good time. And there's all kinds of space for every type of player in there, depending on what you want to do. There's the punch with Mighty Blow, as expected. Down goes Adrastea. He is okay. Do we foul this? Come on, foul it. We have a free line elf. Kick him. Oh, come on. Like the fouling action was invented for the sole purpose of fouling War Dancers. Foul him. Come on. That's what it's for. Foul him. Yes, this looks like a foul to me. Yeah! Mr. Leibniz, good man. There it is. Oh, Adrastea is injured. That's both War Dancers out. No Apo. Just badly hurt. Okay, so he's at least fine. But that is no more War Dancers. This looks pretty in the hands of the High Elves to me. Tree fails to stand up. I think the scariest piece to you now is honestly Ireveth, because the one thing that causes you a problem now is if you one turns and then you go to overtime and like he wins and manages to 2-turn because of he who catches unseen or something. So like one of these two guys are super important to try to remove as well. Ireveth is the scary 1-turn. This is the sort of scary 2-turn with Agi 5 and Leap. Also important pieces to try to go for. But Arkangell is not in a good spot right now. Not in a good spot at all. I mean, do you go for it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, leap. Like 3 die uphill? No, it's not 3 die. It's 2 die uphill. But with Wrestle, You have a chance. You don't really have anybody who can recover, but ugh. I mean, maybe that kind of feels bad, but it might be the right play, honestly, is to just run away and try to keep some of your players safe so that you have enough players to do the one-turn touchdown to try and tie it once your opponent scores on turn 16. And then you have an interesting question. If Arkangell decides to do that, you get an interesting question as Mr. Leibniz, which is, do you take the lightning bolt hit on like on one of the one-turning pieces, just so you have a chance at like on your turn 16, just to try and kill it and remove it so that it can't one-turn very well? Or do you save the lightning bolt in case your opponent manages the one turn and you go to overtime? I think the correct choice is to probably save it for overtime, but it's an interesting question anyway. Nope, Arkangell not giving up. Good man. Fellow Canadian. Failed dodge, unfortunately. Do we reroll this? Or do we save it in hopes that we can one turn and go to overtime and have the reroll? Like, this is a really, really scary position for Arkangell. It's very hard for him to make decisions here. Well, I mean, you 3-die and Mighty Blow Ireveth 1000% of the time. That is armor 6. Well, first you punch this armor 6, and then you gang foul this guy. Armor 6 with a 3-die. That's not a knockdown. Greed reroll? No, we do not take the greed reroll. I mean, I feel like it's probably fine. Especially if he's down, you're so likely to win. I feel like I would have greed rerolled that, but there's... Why would you score here? I'm confused as to why he took that touchdown. He had a reasonable... He could defend himself pretty well there, I think. He had enough elves to make that a good stall. I think his line of thinking there was, if we knock down that catcher and remove him, then we stall. If we don't, we just don't spend a reroll on it and we don't stall. But I think he probably could have had an easy time stalling there. So that's an interesting choice. You're giving Arkangell 4 turns to score, and I mean, with Hugh catches unseen, he can do it. I mean, the downside is he only has 3 players to do it with, but he can do it. He does still have a wizard, that's true. But like, I would rather give my opponent 2 turns with me having a wizard than giving my opponent 4 turns with me having a wizard. I don't know. I'm confused. I mean, maybe. Maybe he wants to make him suffer. Somehow I don't think so. Entirely possible. I just want Arkangell to put all 6 of his elves in a cube just to bait the fireball. Come on, fireball me. Do it. I always want to be careful here, because Arkangell is gonna just try the 2-turn. He doesn't want to get his team murdered. And with the Agi 5, I mean, he can do this. Agi 5 Nerves of Steel, like, unless you knock him down, he can just defend. Right, like this is sidestep Nerves of Steel, Agi 5 Nerves of Steel. You can score here. You catches Unseen going back for the pickup, the Agi 5 pickup. Very careful positioning by Arkangell here. He's got a lot of, he's going to have to be really careful with this turn if he wants to try to get a touchdown in. But it is pretty possible for him. I mean, with this blodge sidestep, Nerves of Steel, a little bit of side caging perhaps. It's totally doable. We do need another elf on the LOS here. There's not enough. We require 3. Tree is arguing to the ref that he has a halfling on him. I'm holding a halfling. There's 3 of us. There you go, Arkangell getting a hold of it, figuring out that he needs to put players on the line. Tree will be able to block him and free him up though. Here is the kick. Uh-oh. Super deep kick and rain is about as annoying as Leibniz could have made this for Arkangell. Non-ideal, certainly. Non-ideal. About as good as Leibniz could have asked for. Especially if Arkangell just goes for this and tries to get the ball his players as safe as possible. Oh god, this really sucks. Right? Because the wizard is still available. That deep kick is the biggest problem. Like if Arkangell takes these players and just puts them through to try to make them scoring threats, then all Leibniz has to do is lightning bolt the guy with the ball down here. And it's a 2+ to just be like, you lose. Because the Wood Elf team is up here and then the ball is down here. It's pretty terrible. I think this is right. Arkangell could have picked up there, but I think not picking up is correct entirely because the wizard is available. Right? If that wizard is available, you just lightning bolt him and then he can't do anything. But now if you lightning bolt him, it doesn't really do much because the ball is still just here. Oh, Arkangell's a good coach. I mean, he's a very good coach. And he plays elves very, very much like Squiggy used to. If you've ever seen Squiggy play elves, which is in the like, I literally don't care that my elves are like dying. As long as I have like the 2 elves that I need to do things, I'm gonna go for it. and like never gives up on the team, tries to win games with like 2 players. Pretty incredible. Arkangell certainly does that, which it's very exciting to watch. My cat is meowing at me.
Kopi.
Well, now the Hyles have a choice to make. Are they going to just like... This is smart too, is having another elf down here in case the lightning bolt comes out. We have another elf who's capable of recovering. Arkangell knows what the failure states are, right? He knows how bad things could be. And it certainly is playing to playing around those. Risk management elf. Putting a couple high elves in range of wherever these players could get to, so it's, you know, throw the ball next turn or I'm gonna try to sack you. But they're not doing a whole lot about the actual scoring threats here. No, Arkangell is it's not a great situation for him, but he's a couple of good dice away from making this work. This is a pickup, handoff. We can get pretty far. This is not a hard throw, even in the rain, this distance. And even if we mark up this, so we find the POW on that catcher. Even marking up this catcher doesn't do that much, though. He is Nerves of Steel. Although, we are going to have to make a couple dodges now to get through here, assuming we move another elf back. Because right now we can just move this guy out of the way and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with 1 sprint. We need to get another elf in the way. That is another elf in the way. We can still make it. I mean, the only way to make it so that we can't make it is to, like, physically... like, we'd have to block, like, these squares. So that this elf can't move. You could dodge alignment in with the 3+ for a surf here. Next turn. He is sidestep, but you'll need to get him in there. That's going to be an intercept threat. He's a catcher, so he's got catch. Smart. Smart positioning. And this is like, this elf is going to have to dodge, do a 3+ dodge, so that this elf can even make the like 5+ dodge to get out. It's pretty tough for Arkangell here. Especially if Leibniz wants to just lightning bolt him at the end of the turn. But then this elf is a scoring threat, but he's a loner, and even if you lightning bolt him, this elf can still score. But he's a loner in 2 tackle zones and has to do a pretty hard dodge, so... Yeah, you're gonna have to at this point. Problem is, this guy is sidestep. Probably just blitz through and pray. This guy is sidestep, so you can just like sidestep back here so that we still have hard dodges to make. Oh, failed the pickup. That's really bad for Arkangell. Rerolls it, grabs it this time, but now we don't have a reroll available for anything else this turn. Okay, hand off. Oh my, snake's the catch! Oh god, that's game. That's game. I mean, if we want to, we can lightning bolt and then blitz and then just pick up and score, or pick up and stall. Because we can't block both of these elves off the ball, and it is in the rain, so we can scatter it and hope. Wood elf team is over here. We could also just mark up the ball with sidestep and stuff. It'd be pretty difficult for the elves to, or the wood elves to get it in the rain with a couple tackle zones on the ball. It's probably the way to do it. I mean, the other thing, like, we could also just, with like Mighty Blow, this catcher. You catches unseen. It's a pretty terrifying piece. We've got a Mighty Blow hit available on him. We could 3-die it even. If we put this catcher in here, we could 3-die him. And then we have tackle zones surrounding this guy, multiple tackle zones on the ball. It'd be pretty difficult for the wood elves to do much. Oh man, that snake is heartbreaking for Arkangell. That was just like, that was 3 1s that turn? Super unfortunate. I mean, he... Okay, showing off some chain push nonsense there. I mean, you could have just chain pushed this guy off the ball, right? I'm not sure what that was all about. Why did he not just chain push this piece? This guy doesn't have sidestep. Could have just chain pushed him off the ball and then picked it up with the sure hands guy. I'm kind of confused about that. We can also surf this catcher now, which is certainly what we're going to do. Push the loner into the way, block the catcher. He is surfed. Off he goes. That's armor 6. Not that it matters when you're surfed. That was a weird play down here. And like, you could have just chain pushed this guy off the ball as well, right? Am I crazy? Pretty sure you could have just chain pushed that. And then just picked up with the sure hands. Because this ball being on the floor is kind of scary. Okay, he got it. I'm gonna say, because now you have to do a 4+ pickup, and if you failed that pickup, this is that was surprisingly easy for he who catches unseen to get a hold of because of Agi 5. But the high elves grab it, make the double GFIs to make it 3-1, and that they still have a wizard. That's about as game as it's ever going to be. I still want to see a wizard do a wizard thing at some point. I have this extra wizard. What am I going to do? Not blow someone up? Yeah, duh. I mean, you could also aim for the bounty. There is a bounty that, or lightning bolting one of your own players and having them be removed. Somebody will pay you money to do that. Fireball the tree. Trees are weak to fire. Trees are weak to fire. That was a fireball. Exactly. Fireball it. No, he's setting up to attempt for the 1 turn, I think. The tree has grab, so we can grab, push. So you grab him, put him here, follow with the tree. Then we block and we push to here. Then we'll need 1 more push. Arkangell setting up for the 1 turn. See? Smart. Right? Like, A, Arkangell never gives up. B, he knows how the game works, right? So, like, there are 2 turns left. He is down by 2 touchdowns. If he wants to win, he has to score this turn. So he sets up for the 1 turn. Money can become candy in Zesticide, though. You can pay people with money to bring you candy. Yeah, it's unlikely, still going for it. Changing weather nice, makes that a bit easier. That's even a touchback. There we go. That's a start. Okay, so we block with the tree to grab this elf into here. Oh, he took root. And we also found the knockdown, so, I mean, that's not happening now. Well. Never mind. Because he needed to not take root, and it was a knockdown. Both things ruin that. I don't think there's another way we can do this, can we? We can uphill blitz this guy into here. No, I don't think we can do it anymore. We just don't have enough players. You could move this guy here. Blitz like this. And then block, and he goes here. I think we can still do this. I think we can still do this. We'll see if it occurs or not. I'm too tired to keep thinking. But I think this is still doable with like a shitload of dice. Alright, so that's step 1. Because now since we got the touchback, it's doable. We're gonna have to do a stupid uphill block here. But you can blitz here and push him. Oh, leap. We can also leap. That works. And now it's a 1 die instead of an uphill. That works. Yeah, and then he dodges. Yeah, we can still do this. I knew we could still do it. Oh, no, we can't, because we didn't have this square filled. We needed 1 more player because we needed the square filled to push him to here. Then we block and push again. We're short 1 player. I mean, yeah. I think you just fireball this as the high elves. I think we needed 1 more player to make that work. I mean, if he really was going to, he should have rerolled the take root on the tree, I think. But if he did, it probably wouldn't have worked anyway. Because then we would have rolled skull. We would have rerolled, gotten it, then we would have gotten skull and 1 because of armor, but no. That's gonna be game. Arkangell cannot win anymore. Fireball. 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 I want fun. Blood Bowl is not competitive. Blood Bowl is about fun. God damn it. No fireball. That makes me sad. Boo! Boo! I'm just messing around, Leibniz, if you watch this. It is strictly the worst choice to just fireball for no particular reason. But it would be fun. He could still last action fireball, but now he's not getting as many players with it, right? Oh no, he can still get the same number of players with it. I mean, what he should have done if he was trying to maximize his fireball is blitz this guy in, and then he could have fireballed all of this. You could also just like lightning bolt the armor 6 guy. Zap. This looks like Heil's going on to me. Imagine they're probably exchanging some GGs. I mean, it's not technically over yet, but Arkangell cannot score, and it is 3-1. So, it is over. Fireball, come on. Please do it. Yes! No, he just lightning bolts. Boring. Didn't even do anything. Should have fireballed. Fireball's more fun. Weak lightning bolt accomplishes nothing. Well, Arkangell can quite literally just hit end turn if he wants, but he'll probably try to grab a vanity pass. Could grab a block with the tree. Pass to the tree for maximum balls. No, he just passed to like pass to one of the catchers. Just grab yourself some extra SPP. Nerves of Steel, just to prove that he can. I mean, he can still score on him, actually. He actually can. We need to make a hole here somewhere, but he can score. I mean, and he has guard. This guy also has guard though, so there isn't a really great way of doing this, is there? Take away this assist. Take away... No, it's going to be an uphill no matter what you do. Right? Could blitz this piece. We could... No, because there's players in the way. And we want to blitz with him. Because we have to blitz with him as he's strength 3. Okay, no, so we can do this. You take away this assist, you blitz this guy, and you pray you get knockdowns, and then you dodge through and a bunch of GFIs. He could blitz with, so he could blitz with the thrower, but the thrower is the catcher, but the catcher is strength 2. And this guy is guard, so it's gonna be uphills. You can one die the guarder. If you took this guy and put him here, you could have blitzed the garter with this piece for 2 die, because this piece is guard, and then you get a knockdown, and then you're gonna have to do stupid dodges, but you can do it. Are we chain pushing him? We're chain pushing him sideways, which doesn't get us in range, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3. No, this doesn't do anything. We can chain push him, but we can only chain push him sideways. And he's not actually in... Or are we chain pushing a hole? No, because that won't do anything. Because there's still a wall in the way. No, this doesn't do anything. If he specifically got a KO here, that would work. But I feel like the better play was just to... Am I crazy? This guy is guard. If you just took away this assist, and then like blitzed from this square, this piece is... it's a 2 die. And then you have to do dumb dodges, but there's a hole. Well, that's Kopi Luwak taking that down. 3-1. Arkangell out.